M65 atomic cannon. The M65 atomic cannon, often called Atomic Annie 92, was an artillery piece built by the United States and capable of firing a nuclear device. It was developed in the early 1950s at the beginning of the Cold War and fielded between April 1955 and December 1962 in West Germany, South Korea, and on Okinawa. History. Picatinny Arsenal was tasked to create a nuclear-capable artillery piece in 1949. Robert Schwartz, the engineer who created the preliminary designs, essentially scaled up the 240 mm shell, then the maximum in the arsenal, to 280 mm, and used the similarly sized German K5 railroad gun as a point of departure for the carriage. The name Atomic Annie likely derives from the nickname. The design was approved by the Pentagon largely through the intervention of Samuel Feltman, chief of the ballistics section of the Ordnance Department's Research and Development Division. A 3-year developmental effort followed. The project proceeded quickly enough to produce a demonstration model to participate in Dwight D. Eisenhower's inaugural parade in January 1953. The gun was initially designated Tone 131, and the carriage was 72. The cannon was transported by 2 specially designed tractors in the same manner as railroad Schnabel cars. Both tractors were capable of independent steering in the manner of some extra-long fire trucks. Each of the tractors was rated at 375 horsepower, 280 kW, and the somewhat awkward combination could achieve speeds of 35 miles per hour, 56 km/h, and negotiate right-angled turns on 28-foot 8.5 m wide paved or packed roads. The artillery piece could be unlimbered in 12 minutes, then returned to traveling configuration in another 15 minutes. The gun was deployed by lowering it from the tractors onto leveled ground. The whole gun assembly was balanced on a ball and socket joint so that it could be swung around the footplate. The traverse was limited by a curved track placed under the rear of the gun. On May 25, 1953, at 8:30 a.m., the atomic cannon was tested at the Nevada test site, specifically Frenchman Flat, as part of the Upshot, Not Whole series of nuclear tests. The test, codenamed Grable, was attended by the chairman delegate of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Admiral Arthur W. Radford, and United States Secretary of Defense Charles Irwin Wilson. It resulted in the successful detonation of a 15 KT-63 TJ shell W9 warhead at a range of 7 miles 11 km. This was the first and only nuclear shell to be fired from a cannon. The Little Feller 1 test shot of a W-54 used a Davy Crockett weapon system, which was a recoilless smoothbore gun firing the warhead mounted on the end of a spigot inserted in the barrel of the weapon. After the successful test, at least 20 cannons were manufactured at Watervliet and Watertown arsenals at a cost of $800,000 each. They were deployed overseas to Europe and Korea and frequently shifted around to avoid being detected and targeted by opposing forces. Due to the size of the apparatus, their limited range, the development of nuclear shells compatible with existing artillery pieces, the W-48 for the 155 mm and the W-33 for the 203 mm, and the development of rocket and missile-based nuclear artillery such as the Little John and Honest John tactical nuclear missiles. However, it remained a prestige weapon and was not retired until 1963. Surviving units. Of the 20 M65s produced, at least 7 survive on display. Most no longer have their prime movers. U.S. Army Artillery Museum, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. This is the original Atomic Annie that fired the live nuclear shot. It was restored in 2010 and is now displayed with prime movers replacing those that were lost in an accident when the cannon was retrieved from Germany by the museum in 1964. United States Army Ordnance Training and Heritage Center, Petersburg, Virginia, still has the 2 large prime movers attached. National Museum of Nuclear Science and History, Albuquerque, New Mexico, has 2 prime movers. Freedom Park, Junction City, Kansas, overlooking Fort Riley. Fort Riley. Rock Island Arsenal Memorial Field, Rock Island, Illinois. Watervliet Arsenal Museum, Watervliet Arsenal, Watervliet, New York, where they were all manufactured. Yuma Proving Ground, Yuma, Arizona, 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 Arizona. The Virginia War Museum in Newport News, Virginia, has been erroneously identified as possessing a 240 prototype of the M65. The weapon at the museum is actually a conventional 240 tone gun, one of two produced as part of a separate design program, which was abandoned in favor of the Tone 131 280 atomic cannon program. Both the Tone and Tone 131/M65 shared 72 carriages.